Hello, welcome back to Broadway's Calling and our season 2 premiere. Even though we're 10 minutes late today, but it's a big celebration, a Brotherhood buffet. And I tell you, these dishes, they take a little time to cook up. We were working on some technical things and we worked it out. Our technical producer, Julie Garnier, took care of it. And here we are. Back for season 2. Can you believe it? It was a fantastic season 1. And I love to thank all of our subscribers and our Patreon members for supporting us and helping us to bring you more stars from Broadway, revealing their secrets of where they were when they first got the call to be on Broadway. And thanks to all of you for helping us to raise enough money to buy toys this past holiday for what? Almost 30 kids. It was fantastic. The Stockings with Care was so successful with their toy drive this year that all of the kids' wishes were filled, and we were able to also help Harlem's Randolph House and purchase gifts for them as well. So I really, really thank you all. All your donations were fantastic. And I had a ball shopping online. And it was like that movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger. I was just trying to get that one toy. I was like trying this site, that site. And I was bound and determined. It was a blast. And I'll be an elf any holiday season. So I hope we get to do that again the end of 2021. A special thank you for a gift to us from our viewers, Brett and Rita, for this fan art of Broadway's Calling. There we are with our Hollywood Walk of Fame star. Thank you. And we'd also like to thank the wonderful donor who bought our Broadway's Calling gift basket. It was filled with goodies from some of our past guest stars, and it was designed by Broadway Bites, Andrea Boyer, and 100% of the proceeds went to Putting On Productions in Manhattan Beach, California. So we thank you, Samantha Probst. That was really generous of you to help Putting On Productions. They put on productions with kids out there, and a lot of them go on to be on Broadway. So that's very exciting. But Samantha, just know that I also promised the Broadway's Calling coffee table book. I'm still assembling it. Again, technology, because it's all it's created online, but you will get the first copy filled with all the pictures and all the stories of our season 1 guests. Now, everyone, I wish I could just hug you all and really check in to see, how's everyone's hearts and minds are doing, because as you know, our nation has been through a lot of turmoil since we last saw each other. And at the same time, we've had some incredible glimmers of hope. While there was an insurrection at the Capitol, the coronavirus has made it to many of our the coronavirus vaccine has made it to many of our frontline medical workers, and that's very encouraging. And also, I've been seeing friends on Facebook starting to get their first and second shot. So that is our glimmer of hope. And tonight's premiere, we honor Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Well, this celebration is inspired by 2 of his quotes. And the first one really has to do with what we've been going through as a nation. And he says, "Let us not wallow in the valley of despair." That was actually one of the first spirituals that I learned as a child up in Connecticut at my grandparents' church, Emmanuel Baptist Church. And we may not be able to solve all of life's problems, but there are many arguments for coming together and celebrating what we love. And that's the theater. Yes, we miss it. But each week, our special guest stars reignite our passions with their tales of how they first got the call to be on Broadway. And of course, those tantalizing backstage stories. Many heard here for the very first time. Now, if you watched our premiere episode of season 1, you would have already known about Glenn Close's current movie, Hillbilly Elegies, and about how I like to celebrate MLK Day, the Brotherhood Buffet. It's inspired by a quote of Martin Luther King's from his speech on the Mall, which I think you all know.
I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream.
Well, because of Reverend King, I started the Brotherhood Buffet with my castmates in Aladdin at Disney California Adventure 17 years ago. And I've since celebrated with my cast on Broadway, including My Fair Lady and Sunset Boulevard. From when we started, because Martin Luther King Day happened in our first week of rehearsal, and I always have this tradition. Oh, there we are, Martin Luther King Day and the cast. So many people, Brittany, and so what I do is I basically have everyone bring in a dish from their ethnic background or from where they grew up. And it's so interesting because oftentimes Caucasian people say, I'm not ethnic. And I'm saying, well, I don't know. Think about it. There's probably something that is very ethnic in your family and something very warm and loving and part of a tradition. We all have a sense of tradition. And I didn't know what you were doing, but we had 3 of our our stars in our show who came over from London, and you did something very sneaky. I didn't know what's happening, but then you came in because you had them come over to your house. And you guys had a sleepover, and then you baked, and then you brought in. Do you remember what you brought in?
No, scones.
Oh,
my grandfather's baking powder biscuits. My grandfather.
Yes.
Probably about Yep.
And that was the story about the biscuits. And I saved that because I thought it was so just warm and loving and sharing. And again, it's like something. And also for anyone out there, for Martin Luther King, it's so often people don't know what to do. And if you're not Black, you go, oh, it's a Black holiday. And I always say, it's civil rights. That's for everyone. And it's an American holiday. It's for everyone here in America. And this is a lovely way to get with people, to have them share a part of who they were, who they are with you. And on a 3x5 card, you write a little story. And Glenn wrote one from her grandmother. And it was just absolutely wonderful. We started. Oh, and this is something that you all can do tomorrow with friends. You can do it over Zoom or however. But this year, the Brotherhood Buffet, which I'd like to just say, we should just call it the Brother and Sisterhood Buffet, right? Well, we want to call it the Broadway Brotherhood Sisterhood Buffet. And I've asked some of my Broadway friends to share their ethnic heritage, a dish from their culture or from where they grew up, and come on the show. Well, since it's season 2 in our big premiere, we don't have just one star. We have what? We have 7 stars here today, starting with My Fair Lady, Shireen Ahmed. We also have Wicked, Dee Dee Magno Hall. And Avenue Q's original Christmas Eve, Anne Harada. And she is joined by TV star and veteran of 7 Broadway shows, including Book of Mormon, Carly Hughes. Now, my dear friend, Mike and Molly star, as well as the Jelly's Last Jam National Tour, Miss Cleo King will be here to share some things. And then one of the stars of the film, The Love Guru, but also My Fair Lady and Bombay Dreams, Mr. Manu Narayan. and my good buddy, who is one of the stars of this year's award-winning film, The Assistant, and the star of Broadway's The Nance and Fish in the Dark, Johnny Orsini. Now, you're going to want to hang out and find out which star loves baklava, and also which star loves to conk their food on the head before they eat it. So, welcome. You have a close-up seat to our Broadway Brotherhood buffet.
There is a brotherhood of man, a benevolent brotherhood of man, a noble tie that binds all human hearts and minds into one brotherhood of man. Your lifelong membership is free. Keep giving each brother all you can. Oh, aren't you proud to be in that fraternity? The great big brotherhood of man.
Yeah, go ahead, Daniel Radcliffe. That is Harry Potter telling us, come and join the Brotherhood of Man. I saw a couple of comments, and first of all, Larry Sherman wanted to know, we're in Connecticut, my grandparents' church, Emmanuel Baptist Church. That was in New Haven, Connecticut. Yes, it was Emmanuel Baptist Church. It's still there, brand new church. That's still there. And also, I'd like to say a couple of people saying Happy New Year, and I say Happy New Year to you. And Joshua Carr, I see that you said you will send your buttermilk fried chicken recipe. Well, I dare you. You can either throw it onto the Broadway's Calling page on Facebook, or you can send it to our website. And I'll get you that website, and we'll put that up there because it's new. So I can't remember all the different ones. But, oh, there it is, Broadway'sCallingTV.com. Y'all, that's Julie Garnier, baby, listening to me and finding stuff and just throwing it up. Y'all, that's how it works here on live television or live streaming or whatever we call it. I doubt if anyone has any extra money, but if you would like to support Broadway's Calling and our technical platform and all of our fancy lights and microphones, I would love it if you would join and becoming one of our subscribers on the patreon.com/Broadway's Calling. And you can join for as little as $5 a month, which is great. It actually goes a long way. And some of that money, even, we were able to help to buy some extra toys, some digital toys that just cost a little bit more money. And we had some because of our fantastic Patreons, and that's great. So I hope that you consider becoming a subscriber, and it really, really helps us a lot. Now, getting back to our buffet, I've also asked some of the people from the Broadway's Calling family, because I know that they have some good dishes in their households. So I've asked Julie Garnier, our tech producer, and Andrea Boyer of Broadway Bites to join me at our table of brother and sisterhood.
Hello.
Hello, welcome. Happy New Year. Happy season 2 premiere.
This is so exciting. Did I hear buffet? Because I was
Yes. Buffet.
Oh my goodness. Lance, you have to share. What is your dish?
Oh, well, my dish, which is something, I love it. This is basically, I couldn't wait to tell everybody and share about it. I post about it every year. But I present as African American, although I'm actually mixed with Cuban and Scottish as well. But culturally, my roots are Southern, and I can't start my year without my Hoppin' Johns, which I grew up calling it Hoppin' Johns, but it's Hoppin' Johns.
Oh,
And it's black eyed peas and rice with collard greens, and the black eyed peas represent the coins that you're going to gather in the new year, and the greens represent all the dollars you're going to gather. So it's a great meal to have on the first day of the year, and it's our traditional good luck meal. And I always say, once you get a plate of my Hoppin' Johns, there is no way that you can continue to fear me, because I have found that it's amazing how our prejudices just sort of melt away when we share someone else's food and culture. Right? The more you know.
Well, I can't wait to have some of those yummy Hoppin' John someday.
Yeah.
And Julie, what about you? Is there something special that you and your family enjoy?
Absolutely. At the beginning of the pandemic, I was at home with my parents. I actually had been in California for a couple of days when the pandemic started. So I kind of got stuck here. So I ended up in Northern California at my parents' house. And my mom and I, every Friday morning, we had a little tradition during the entire time that I was there that we would cook something from our ethnic background. So both of my parents are Lebanese. I'm Middle Eastern, I'm Lebanese, but my mother is also from Bolivia in South America. So I'm also Latina. So I have a little bit of that and I have a little bit of this. So I have a little bit of both for you guys. So for my Middle Eastern roots, I would like to present tabbouleh.
Yeah.
One of my favorites. I made this morning. Normally you'd make it with bulgur. I made it with quinoa because I ran out of bulgur. With quinoa is a great substitute and lots of protein. Very, very good for anybody who's on a keto diet or something like that. But lots of parsley, lots of tomatoes. This is like the staple for any Middle Eastern house. If you don't have tabbouleh, hummus, and olives in your refrigerator, you're not really Middle Eastern. Like, turn in your card. Sorry about it. So this is always in my fridge. So for the Bolivian side, my mother and we actually made these a couple of months ago and we froze them. And when I came back to Los Angeles, I brought a big bag of them with me. So I actually have the ones my mom and I made, and they are called salteñas. These are salteñas. Salteñas. They look like empanadas, but they're bigger. And on the inside, it's kind of like a hot pocket in the sense that in the inside, it's an entire meal. So there's the inside. You've got chicken, you've got peas, you've got raisins, you've got there's a hard-boiled egg in there. There's Kalamata olives. There's also tomatoes. Sorry, not tomatoes. Potatoes, carrots. There's all sorts of fun stuff in here. And so that's what the inside of a salteña looks like. You can buy these on the streets. The street vendors in Bolivia, they have a lot of, and they'll cook it up for you right there in front of you. And these are very, very famous in Peru and in Bolivia. You can't live without a salteña. So there you go.
Need to be famous right here in
I know. I've been bothering my mother for years to like start a company and get like freeze these and sell them. So, you know what I mean? Like they're so great frozen, and you pop them in the oven at 500 for like 20 minutes, 25 minutes. And you can't really see it with this one, but when you cut it open, like you really don't want to cut it open in half because it's so juicy. It's so juicy. So you want to grab it like this and eat it this way. You want all the juice to stay inside, and you'll see a lot of Bolivians, they'll slurp it. They'll go and like get all the juice in, and then take a bite. And it's just these are heaven. These are heaven.
I love it. Love it. Love it. Well, thanks, Julie.
Yeah, of course. Now, Andrea, you can cook. We've seen that. So many things you can cook. So what are some of the dishes from your culture?
Oh, goodness. So the first thing that comes to my mind is pozole. It's very, very popular. There's an area in Mexico that's Garibaldi, and it's like pozole vendo row, and it's delicious, and I love that. It's very comforting. Also mole. So you've got the red moles and the green moles. It's very popular from a city called Puebla, and it's just delicious, whether you want to put it on chicken, your rice, your beans, whatever, or just sop it in your tortillas. My favorite is the red one, though. And of course, my ultimate favorite Mexican street food is esquites. So otherwise known as Mexican street corn. It's all the rave right now. Every Mexican restaurant I go to, it's on the sides, right? Mexican street corn. And there's several ways that you can prepare them. But my childhood memory brings me back to when I used to visit Mexico City. And it would be the areas of like the parks or the main city where you'd walk around. There'd always be little street vendors ready to serve you fresh esquites. And of course, I have prepared a little video for you.
Yummy. Let's see it. Drooling. I knew that I would get hungry during this show. I knew I would.
Well, I can't wait to hear from our guest stars and see all their fabulous dishes. It's going to be fun.
And I've got some buttons to push. So I think we should go and get this show started.
Okay, we'll do. See you guys later.
Okay.
Oh,
I'm already digging in.
I love it. This is not fair. My Hoppin' John's already gone. Well, I know all of you out there are watching, and if you are feeling like you are hungry and you want to taste some of this food or see some of the recipes, again, you can go to our website. We'll put the recipes up there and even the instructional videos that Andrea comes up with. And then you can also try and make them at home. And give me a thumbs up if you're really enjoying the meals that you're seeing, because now it is time for our first guest. So I'll see you guys later, Julie and Andrea.
Have a good show.
Our first guest, Carly Hughes, has spent the last 4 years on ABC's American Housewife, but she has racked up an amazing 7 Broadway shows since her debut. Now, we met while doing Ghost, where she got to play one of Oda Mae's sisters. And she also went on for Oda Mae, and she was fantastic. But she got to use all of her talents and more when she replaced Patina Miller as the leading player in Pippin on Broadway.
Well, I'll sing you the story of a sorrowful lad. He had everything he wanted, didn't want what he had. He had wealth and pelf and name and fame and all of that noise, but he didn't have none of those simple joys. He wanted someplace warm and green. We all could use a change of scene. Sweet summer evenings, hot wine and bread, sharing your supper, sharing your bed. Simple joys have a simple voice that says, why not go ahead? Rather be a left-handed flea or a crab on the slab at the bottom of the sea than a man who never learns how to be free, not till he's cold and dead. And wouldn't you rather be a left-handed flea or a crab on the slab at the bottom of the sea, a newt on the root of a banyan tree than a man who never learns how to be free, not till the day he dies. Sweet summer evenings, sapphire skies, Simple joys have a simple voice. It says time is living's prize. And wouldn't you rather be a left-handed flea, a crab on the side at the bottom of the sea, a newcomer on the root of a banyan tree, or a fig on a twig in Galilee, than a man who never learns how to be free? Not till the day, not till the day, not till the day, not till the day he... All right, let's go.
Oh, those of you who know Carly from her TV show American Housewife, I don't know if you knew she did all of that, but I do know that I know how she keeps her waist so small now. It's not just running around California, it's doing that hula hoop, because Carly has 2 dishes that she's going to tell us about live from California.
Hi, I'm Carly Hughes. I am Black, and I'm originally from St. Louis, Missouri. My whole family's from there. My mom's one of 8 and my dad's one of 7, all from St. Louis. But I moved when I was around 7 to Columbia, Maryland. So that's where I grew up. And Maryland is known for their crabs. We even had crabs on our licenses. Crabs, not a state flower, a crab. So a dish that is part of growing up and part of our culture, you know, where we grew up in Maryland, are crab cakes, or specifically crab boils, where you bring home newspaper and sheets of paper and lay it on the floor of the table, spread out all the crabs and the Old Bay seasoning with lemon, and you have a mallet, you crack it and suck it and eat it, and it's delicious. A dish that we are known for in St. Louis is the St. Louis barbecue, and my dad makes homemade barbecue sauce that I would literally empty other bottles, fill them with his homemade barbecue sauce, seal it, and bring it on a plane home because it's that good.
Yeah, so now you know who conks their food on the head. It is Carly Hughes. I just noticed Katie Wilson, who is a teacher, says, I added Broadway's Calling to my syllabus. My students are watching as part of our Broadway bingo. I would love to know how that worked, Katie. Is it based on, like, you know, if someone does a, you know, jazz hand, then they get a bingo, or a high kick, or a high C? I would love to know how that works, because that sounds like fun and a great way for kids to sort of learn the Broadway history and the performers who have been doing it all these many years. One of those performers is my dear friend Manu Narayan, and I first saw him when he starred on Broadway in Bombay Dreams, which was a fantastic show on Broadway, but done in the Bollywood style, produced by Andrew Lloyd Webber. I just loved it. Talk about, you know, immersing yourself in a culture and, you know, having it here when we're not exposed to it here on Broadway. It was fantastic. His co-starring role in the film The Love Guru with Mike Myers took him away for a while, but Manu is back on Broadway with a vengeance, inspiring his new take on Carpathy the linguist in My Fair Lady, and helping us learn about some of his dishes.
Hi, I'm Manu Narayan. I'm originally from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and I guess I identify as American, South Asian American, or Indian American. My dad moved from India to Detroit, Michigan in 1962 to study at the university there, and went back in 1968 and got married to my mom 10 days before Martin Luther King was unfortunately assassinated in Memphis. They moved back here to this country, and, you know, the rest is truly an immigrant's dream. For this year's Brotherhood buffet, I think I was thinking about it, and I think I would bring my mom's really, really good fried okra. The people who've tasted it love it and rave about it to this day. She made a bunch of it for my wedding. And it is thinly sliced okra that's fried to perfection with some spicy Indian spices fried inside. It's unlike anything that I've tasted before. It's very, very, very good. My mom's an amazing cook.
That sounds really good. Some fried okra. Now, those of you, I have to know if you used to hang out around 46th Street on Restaurant Row, if you remember O'Flaherty's, because it was down in the theater district and a lot of us would hang out there. Well, if you remember O'Flaherty's, you remember that they pour a damn good Guinness. And you also make good friends there. I started going there because Kieran Hines, our big daddy from Cat on the Hot Tin Roof, he was Irish and he swore by O'Flaherty. So it became our hangout. Even famously, Scarlett would like take the car and like sneak in and we'd sing karaoke in the back. It was a blast. But I met lots of fun people there. And one of them was Johnny Orsini, who also was hanging out there. He was about to start the Nance on Broadway. And we just started hanging out with the Guinness and we became friends. This was him in the Nance on Broadway. Well, Johnny has starred opposite Nathan Lane, as you saw, but also Larry David on Broadway, Jason Alexander on Broadway, Ethan Hawke on Broadway. So I think that the good Guinness was good luck.
Hey, I'm John Orsini. Feel like I'm doing a slate right now. I am a white dude from Cheshire, Connecticut. I don't own boat shoes. People ask me that all the time. Oh, Connecticut, where's your boat shoes? I don't own boat shoes. I don't have a boat either. I mean, I guess I missed out. I don't know. But by heritage, I'm mostly Italian, Central Italy. And my grandfather had his own garden and he would grow his own tomatoes, among a lot of other things. But he would make his own tomato sauce, and that's a really special memory for me. He wrote down the recipe for me, and I learned it from him. And I love cooking, so it's just great to have that, and it's a great memory and a lineage thing through cooking. And and then I'd be remiss not to mention my mom makes excellent chicken parm. So there you go. There's a couple Italian staples right there. Deceptively simple. It's all about the details, like a lot of cooking. So that's it. That's the background. Thanks for doing this, Lance. You're a great dude, and I hope everyone's staying safe out there. Bye.
And thank you, Johnny, for offering those delicious dishes. Hey, Andrea.
Hello. Oh my God. I don't know about you, but I'm getting hungry. When he said chicken farm, I was like, I'm all ears.
It's so funny. I see Jamie she was like, ooh, yay, oh, flats. So she's ready for a good Guinness.
But isn't that by our old stomping grounds, dinner or dessert, Joe Allen's, right? It was right by Joe Allen's.
Oh, yes. It's a couple doors down. It is. It's like, unfortunately, it's gone now, but that's all right. And I saw, Julie, that you put up Andy's thing about, he said they hosted a Brotherhood buffet in Harlem a few years back, and he made a Slavic favorite. I think I'm saying this correctly. Flechski. It's ham, cabbage, and noodles. Yummy. And you're making it for dinner right now after today's show. Well, happy Martin Luther King Day a great meal.
Photo. That sounds delicious.
What did you say? I'm sorry.
I said, post a photo. That sounds delicious.
Oh yeah, it really does sound.
The noodles.
It's so hearty, so hearty. But we need like a good dessert, and I know that you have great desserts.
I have a special one that I love in Mexico, or in Latin heritage, or in cooking. We love limon, and a lot of people say, "Oh, lemon." Well, it's lemon, but we like the green lemon, like the key lime. And it's a staple. So when you hear of Mexican or Latin dishes, usually limon means the green lemon, not the yellow.
Okay.
So, and that makes a big difference in taste, right? Or I feel it does. A little bit more sweeter and not tart. So one of my favorite desserts is called Carlota de Limón con Queso. So basically, it's a Mexican icebox cake.
Oh, nice.
And
nice.
Sounds complicated, but it's so easy. It's something you can do with friends. Even, when you have this like a host party thing, you can make it with friends. Although there might be a situation where you can't eat it that same night, but they can take it home with them and have it, or prepare it in the morning and then have it ready for dinner. So
yummy. Well, show us how to do it, Andrea.
Got it. Here we go.
Pops into your head, just so long as you sing. Oh, my mom is Dominican, Cuban, my dad is from Chile and PR, which means I'm Chile, Dominican Rican. But I always say I'm from Queens. Carnaval del barrio, Carnaval del barrio. Why is everyone so happy? We're sweating and we have no power. I gotta get out of here soon. Block's getting worse by the hour. You can't even go to a club with a friend without having somebody shove you.
Ay, por favor. Vanessa, don't pretend that Usnavi's your friend. We all know that he loves you.
Wow, now that you mention that sexual tension, it's easy to see. I know this is bogus.
But you noticed you get all your coffee for free.
Yo, now, everyone gather round, sit down, listen, I got an announcement, wow, it involves large amounts, it's somewhere in the range of 96,000, attention, I'm closing shop, Sonny grab everybody a soda pop, yo, grab a bottle, kiss it up to God, cause Abuela Claudia just won the lotto, Abuela Claudia won the lotto, we're gonna fly for the tomorrow. Oh my God, alza la bandera dominicana. Alza la bandera puertorriqueña. Alza la bandera mexicana. Alza la bandera cubana. Arriba esa bandera. Alzala donde quiera. Hey. Recuerdo de mi tierra. Me acuerdo de mi tierra. Esa bonita bandera. Hey. Contiene mi alma entera. Hey. Y cuando yo me muera, entiérrame en mi tierra.
Everything changes today. Hey. Usnavi's on his way. Hey. Off to a better place. Hey. Look at Vanessa's face.
Hey. Everything changes today. Hey. By Mr. Rosario. Okay. I'm taking over the body.
We're getting out of the body.
Hey.
Yes. Now, a lot of you probably recognize that tune from a certain musical. If you know it, put it in the comments and I'll give you a shout out. Also, the person who wrote that musical celebrated his 41st birthday yesterday. You probably know that as well. So I'd love to see that in the comments. But like they say in the song, everything changes today. It changes with us, you guys. We are part of the dream. And that's what I'm all about. It's like collecting all the people together. And it's like, we got to move forward together. That's what we have to do. We don't need to wait for anybody. We can gather, we can celebrate, we can fraternize, well, socially distance right now, but just talk to people. This is very, very important. Get ready, because our next stars are some of the, I would have to say, they're the history makers, the people who have been just crashing through the glass ceilings and making changes on stage and in life. And our first star is Ann Harada, who started on Broadway in a lot of dramas like In Butterfly, but lately she has cornered the market on funny, even in the TV show Smash. And I got to work with her. It was remotely because, this is during the pandemic, but we got to do this great show and she was hysterical. It's a Bite-Sized Broadway's latest podcast recording of the Blue Cross Blues. Look for it, Blue Cross Blues. She is hysterical. Well, here she is recreating her role of Christmas Eve with the London cast of Avenue Q.
Why are you all so happy?
Because our lives suck.
Your lives suck?
Yeah.
I'm hearing you correctly? Ha! I'm coming to this country for opportunities. Try to work in Chinese restaurants, but I am Japanese. But with hard work, I earned 2 master's degrees in social work. And now I am therapist. But I have no clients. And I have an unemployed fiancé. And we have lots of bills to pay. It's up to be me. It's up to be me. I say it's sucka, 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 sucka. It's up to be me.
Oh, hey there.
Oh my goodness, I love that. She is just so funny. I love her so much. Well, she has traveled the farthest to be on Broadway, and I always wanted to ask her whether she knew our former president or not. And when you hear where she's from, you'll understand why.
Hi, I'm Ann Harada, and I grew up in Hawaii, and the dish I wanted to talk about was kalua pig, which historically is served at a luau, where you bury the pig in an underground oven with hot stones, and you steam it for hours. It's very complicated, but of course I don't make it like that. I use a pork butt roast, and I do it in the oven, and it's very time consuming, but it's completely worth it, and it makes me so happy that I can try to replicate a dish like that in my oven in New York. You have to cook it for like 5 hours, depending how big the roast is. And it involves heavily salting the meat, putting a lot of ginger and garlic in it, wrapping it up in collard greens, which I found is a great substitute for the tea leaves, TI leaves in Hawaii that you would wrap the roast in to keep the moisture in and to help steam it. But collard greens and a bunch of foil works really well. And it's very important to me because it kind of connects me with my home. And because it's such a time-consuming recipe, I really only try to make it like on holidays. But it always makes me feel better.
Oh, man, I love that. Now, I see that a lot of you got where that music was from. It was, of course, from In the Heights. And our birthday boy yesterday was Lin-Manuel Miranda, 41 years old yesterday. Now, another trivia, if you saw the picture of Ann Harada, if you remember, if you were watching, she's there in that big pink dress holding a shoe. Do you know what show that is from? That's good trivia. And while you're figuring that out, I'm going to show you our next two performers who have made history coast to coast. Dee Dee Magno Hall was the Jasmine to my Jafar in Aladdin, the Musical Spectacular, the show where the Brotherhood Buffet actually began. But she broke records as the longest running Kim in Miss Saigon on Broadway, and she is the very first actress of color to play Nessa Rose in Wicked.
Save him, please just save him, my poor Locke, my sweet, my brave him. Don't leave me till my sorry life has ceased. Alone and loveless here, with just the girl in the mirror, just her and me, the wicked witch of the east. We deserve each other.
Oh my goodness. Well, now she lends her talents to the animated hit Steven Universe as Pearl. And here is her delicious dish.
Hello, everybody. I'm Dee Dee Magno Hall. And Lance, thank you so much for inviting me to join your Brotherhood Buffet, your Broadway Brotherhood Buffet. I am of Filipino-American descent, and I wanted to share a dish called pancit. Pancit. It's a noodle dish, and it's usually prepared on somebody's birthday because long noodles represent long life. And just like you, Lance, I am choosing to move forward with love and with gratitude and hope in my heart for this new year and beyond. And like the great Martin Luther King, I've decided to stick with love. All right? I wish you all the best and many blessings in the new year to come.
Oh, I love pancit noodles. We had a lot of that backstage for birthdays at Aladdin, the Musical Spectacular. Shireen Ahmed has taken her place at the table as the first woman of color to play Eliza Doolittle on Broadway, which is phenomenal. Isn't she stunning? Well, she now stars in the national tour of My Fair Lady, and you have to check her out when she comes to your town. They'll be back on tour later on this year.
And Broadway's calling. My name's Shireen Ahmed. Happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day. I had the privilege and the honor to be a part of Lance's Brotherhood Buffet as part of the My Fair Lady cast at the Lincoln Center in 2018. And it was such an incredible experience. I had so much fun trying all of these different foods from different cultures and really getting to know a little bit more about my castmates. You know, we sat around telling stories about our families and where they came from and stories about the food. So that was really fun. I am Egyptian American. My father immigrated to the US from Alexandria, Egypt, and my mother is German American. So I grew up eating really good food. What I decided to bring to the buffet was baklava. In Egypt, it's made with rosewater and pistachios, and a lot of honey or corn syrup. And the pastry is really, really thin phyllo pastry. And the really fun thing about making baklava is that it takes more than one person to make it. So growing up making baklava, it always, the kitchen was full of people, full of my family members. And this was our time to connect and talk and catch up with each other on each other's lives and tell stories about the last time we had baklava, the last party that we brought baklava to. So it was, a time of reminiscing and remembering. And baklava is a really big staple in my house. Anytime there's a big celebration, baklava was on the table. So just as joyous as making the baklava is eating it too. Happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Bye.
I love that. Love that. Now, getting back to Ann Harada and our trivia question, if you heard this clue to figure out who she was playing in the big pink dress, why would a fella love a girl like her? She was one of the evil, stepsisters from Cinderella. Yes, that was who she was. And she was also hysterical in that. But what can I say about our next guest? Cleo King. She's been my neighbor. She's my friend. Hangs out at my house. I hang out at her house and her pool. She's even been my director back in 1998. But she's a theater vet who has carved a diverse career for herself in TV and film. But her biggest thing that I love about her, Cleo, is always inspirational. I'm telling you, this St. Louis native is a voice to listen to, whether she's singing or she's acting in some of the best movies like The Hangover and Pineapple Express. Check this out.
On the hood. On the hood.
Okay, I'm on the hood.
Okay.
Whoa, come on!
Stand still.
Okay,
stand still.
I'm still.
Okay,
I'm
on
sorry.
the hood.
Okay,
You
I'm
better
on the
hope
hood.
it's clean. You better hope ain't
I'm
shit on this
clean.
record. I'm gonna put my foot up in your way.
Thank you so much for believing me, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Well, I tell you this, I bet I get to the bottom of it. I take this badge off and get to the bottom of it. I don't work for the law. The law works for me. I promise you, I've been smelling something in this department for a long time, and I'm gonna get to the bottom of this shit. All right. After Brother Haywood introduces me, you're gonna start in real soft. Not too soft. The whole choir's gonna be flapping them paper fans.
I got it, Grandma.
I'll tell you when you got it. Then I'm gonna step to the podium, nod towards the congregation, give a little knowing wink to Brother Haywood, and blow the rafters off that house of Jesus. Ooh, you know they tell me of a home far beyond the sky, and they tell me of a land far away. Tell me of a home where no storm clouds rise. You know they tell me of an unclouded day.
Oh, thank you, God.
Well, Cleo has an MLK Day message for us all.
Hello, I am Cleo King, and I am here to wish you a very happy opening to season 2 of the Martin Luther King Broadway Brotherhood Buffet. I am so happy to celebrate with you season 2. Oh my God, let's celebrate, let's enjoy ourselves, but most of all, let's use this time to get to know someone else and their culture. Let's ask them questions, right? I don't know how you do it in New York, but out here in Cali, we have people over. We have people, we go to their house. They come to our house. And yeah, all of this was sit in the backyard, get to know somebody, ask questions about their childhood, ask questions about their hair, ask questions about their children and their family. And then when they ask you questions, I want you to tell the truth Everything wasn't perfect. Everything wasn't horrible, right? So I want you to tell the truth, but most of all, let's enjoy ourselves. Think about how things were, but spend time getting to know someone who's outside your culture. Take the time to do it. Invest. Ask questions. Spend time. Okay? Yay! I'm glad you're all safe. I'm glad you're having a good time. Thank you for thinking of me.
Oh, well, I hope that you've enjoyed entering the cultural worlds of these artists. And like Cleo said, engage, ask questions, share a little of yourself as well, and gather over Zoom or within your bubble tomorrow for MLK Day. And you can also be of service, be inspired, but know that your words are important and that someone is listening. And that there is a very, very fantastic inspirational finale for all of you at the end of the program. But I would love for Andrea to come back because I want to talk to her about something.
Oh, Lance, this has been so enlightening. And I've always admired what Dr. King has stood for.
Mhm.
And his speech is inspiring to all.
Yeah, it is. It's like we've been listening for so long. But a little known fact is that the I Have a Dream speech, the beginning was written, but not the end.
Really?
Yeah, about 10 or 12 minutes in, it's a famous story. Mahalia Jackson had sung, How I Got Over There, famously. And she was there up on the podium. And as Dr. King was about to wrap up, Mahalia Jackson yelled out, she said, "Tell him about your dream, Martin. Tell him about your dream." Well, Martin just got inspired by her yelling that out. And then the crowd started applauding and everything. So the rest of the speech, the I Have a Dream, the part that is very, very famous, was totally extemporized. I mean, these are the words that define the civil rights, but he just it just came from his soul. It was from his gut. And it blows me away. I just love that part of the speech.
I did not know that.
I know I didn't either. I just found out the guy, Clarence Jones, who had written the speech, he has written a book, and he's the one who started talking about it. So it's just fantastic. But anyway, this has been a fantastic premiere to season 2, and I know we have a big surprise at the end of the show with some fantastic Tony Award winner. But I look forward to seeing you, Andrea, and Julie throughout season 2, and I really hope that all of you out there enjoy our stories. I cannot wait till you see who's coming on season 2. There's some fantastic stars, and I'm just very, very excited. So all I can say is to stay safe, stay sane, and keep a little Broadway in your life.
Absolutely. And stay tuned for a very special tribute to Dr. King from Tony Award winner Brian Stokes Mitchell.
Yes! So, on behalf of Broadway's Calling family, I'm Lance Roberts, and
I'm Andrea Boyer.
And let freedom ring.
Love you guys.
To dream the impossible dream, to fight the unbeatable foe, to bear with unbearable sorrow, to run where the brave dare not go, to right the unrightable wrong, to love pure and chaste from afar, to try when your arms are too weary, to reach the unreachable star. This is my quest, to follow that star, no matter how hopeless
no matter how far, to fight for the right, without question or pause, to be willing to march into hell for a heavenly cause. And I know if I'll only be true to this glorious quest, that my heart will lie peaceful and calm when I'm laid to my rest, and the world will be better for this. That one man, scorned and covered with scars, still strove with his last ounce of courage to reach the unreachable stars. This is my quest, to follow that star, no matter how hopeless, no matter how far, to fight for the right, without question or pause, to be willing to march into hell for a heavenly cause. And I know if I'll only be true to this glorious quest, that my heart will lie peaceful and calm when I'm laid to my rest. And the world will be better for this. That one man, scorned and covered with scars, still strove with his last ounce of courage to reach the unreachable stars.
Let freedom ring from Stone Mountain of Georgia. Let freedom ring from Lookout Mountain of Tennessee. Let freedom ring from every hill and molehill of Mississippi, from every mountainside. Let freedom ring, and when this happens, and when we allow freedom ring, when we let it ring from every village and every hamlet, from every state and every city, we will be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last.